Well, hey, good morning to you. We're out here doing a little fishing out of Lake Tacoma. I was just fishing for catfish with some hot dogs and not having any luck, so I'm switching to this little crankbait here. And I'm trying to make my way over. Man, this trolling motor is tough to operate. It's all tangled. But I'm trying to make my way over there where I saw a bunch of bass jumping out. So I'm going to kind of fish this shoreline to my right here. And kind of see how it goes. I'm going to try to get way back there. And meanwhile, we're going through the book of Matthew, verse by verse. Just so incredibly important to do, because the modern church, man, they got it all messed up. They're ignorant to the teachings of Jesus in many levels. So I think it's incredibly important to study it for ourselves and see what we can find out. And where we are is we're in the genealogy of Jesus. So just incredibly fascinating. Tangled up somewhere in here. There we go. Incredibly fascinating piece of history. Really following it from Abraham. And we've made it to this place where, Jesse is named by Isaiah as being really kind of, that's where the kingship begins. And he gives rise to David, who gives rise to, my crankbait's messing up. It gets tangled. You can always feel those crankbaits wiggle or not. There he goes, he's in business now. But his son Abijah divides Israel and Judah, and it was a critical place in the history of that moment. And then First and Second Chronicles, and follows the kingship. So it'll continue to follow the lineage of Jesus Christ, while the Kings, the book of Kings 1 and 2, follow the kings of Israel. And Israel, and if you look at the kings, even though they're following the kings of Israel, it talks about the kings of Judah. And if you're following the kings of Judah in Chronicles, it talks about the kings of kings. So you really kind of should study both. So we're just going to pick it up right where we left off. Let that thing float for a second. Matthew 1, starting verse 5. Salmon begot Boaz by Rahab. Boaz begot Obed by Ruth. Obed begot Jesse. Jesse begot David the king. David the king begot Solomon by her who had been the wife of Uriah. And Solomon begot Rehoboam, and Rehoboam begot Abijah, and Abijah begot Asa. Now, we talked about Rehoboam last time and how he divided the kingdoms, but there's something interesting before I get back to this fishing here that I want to see in 1 Kings 15. It just mentions Abijah, and it's an important note. 1 Kings 15, starting verse 1. Now in the 18th year of King Jeroboam, that's the king of Israel again, the son of Nebat, Abijah became king over Judah, and he reigned 3 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Micah, granddaughter of Abishalom. And he walked in all the sins of his father, which he had done before him. His heart was not loyal to the Lord his God, as the heart of his father David. The thing about Abijah is the kings of Judah just kept going downhill, man. It just kept getting worse and worse. And Abijah, really until you got to us, his son was much better than he was. And Jehoshaphat was one of the best kings of Judah ever. But especially the way he leaned on the Lord. But there's something that Abijah does that changed everything. Because here he is, he's sinning just like his father. His father set up false idols all over the kingdom. there's just turmoil everywhere. There's constant war with Israel, or Egypt, or Syria. Like it never really ends. And there's a certain point that things change for Abijah, because I want you to kind of remember, if you followed this series before with me, that God has a tendency to kill like you may be in line to be the lineage of Jesus Christ, but if you're wicked, he's going to kill you. We saw that with Judah's children, they were wicked, so he killed them. Simple as that. And he was getting ready to kill Rehoboam and utterly destroy him, but Rehoboam humbled himself to the Lord, and then the Lord kind of relented and let off. But I'm just going to read all of 2 Chronicles 13, because I think this kind of defines Abijah in that moment. I'm going to drag this thing along the way too. See how that goes. While I'm rolling here. In the 18th year of King Jeroboam, now notice Jeroboam's still around. Jeroboam was there for David, Solomon, Rehoboam, and Jeroboam is still there reigning in Israel. Abijah became king over Judah, and he reigned 3 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Micaiah, the daughter of Uriel of Gibeah. And there was war between Abijah and Jeroboam. Abijah set the battle in order with an army of valiant warriors, 400,000 choice men. Jeroboam also drew up in battle formation against him with 800,000 choice men, mighty men of valor. Then Abijah stood on Mount Zemaraim, which is in the mountains of Ephraim, and said, "Hear me, Jeroboam and all Israel. Should you not know the Lord God of Israel gave the dominion over Israel to David forever, to him and his sons by a covenant of salt. Yet Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, the servant of Solomon, the son of David, rose up and rebelled against his Lord. Then worthless rogues gathered to him and strengthened themselves against Rehoboam, the son of Solomon, when Rehoboam was young and inexperienced and could not withstand them. And now you think to withstand the kingdom of the Lord, which is in the hand of the sons of David, and you are a great multitude. With you are gold calves which Jeroboam made for you as gods. Have you not cast out the priests of the Lord, the sons of Aaron and the Levites, and made for yourself priests like the people of other lands? So whoever comes to consecrate himself with a young bull and 7 rams may be the priest of things that are not God's. But as for us, the Lord is our God, and we have not forsaken him. And the priests who minister to the Lord are the sons of Aaron, and the Levites attend to their duties. And they burn to the Lord every morning and every evening burnt sacrifices, sweet incense, and they also set the showbread in order on the pure table, and the lampstand of gold with its lamps, and burn every evening. For we keep the commands of the Lord our God, but you have forsaken him. Now look, God himself is with us as our head and as priest, with sounding trumpets to sound the alarm against you, O children of Israel. Do not fight against the Lord God of your fathers, for you shall not prosper. So here in this moment, he totally leaned on, everything that he knew about God. He sacrificed. He burned incense. He set up the table of showbread. He prayed, and he declared who Judah is in the name of the Lord. And as a result, what takes place in this moment is here they're feeling all victorious, but yet Jeroboam completely surrounds them. Like they come up against them on the front, they come up against them on the back, on all angles. And it just looks terrible, but God completely smites them. It says 500,000 Israelite soldiers perished that day. I mean, think about that. 500,000 soldiers just perishing because Abijah declared who Judah was, and they defeated Israel that day. And that's all it took. You know, it's interesting how leaders of Israel, you know, or at the time Judah, you know, they think things are a certain way, and they get all bold and, well, I can do whatever I want. But there's this moment in time where it looks like all things are against you. And that's when it doesn't go so well. So, but here Abijah, even though he shared in the same sins as his father, just like his father humbled himself, Abijah clearly humbled himself. And that is the difference. And that's a difference maker, man. Understanding what these guys went through and why they were the lineage, you know, usually had something to do with humbling themselves to the Lord and declaring, you know, because he approached Jeroboam really with the same courage that David faced Goliath. This idea that, you know, you're going up against the army of the Lord. Like, this is not going to go well for you at all. My crankbait got tangled here. And it's that boldness, you know, because he even declared himself, you know, we're the sons of David. Like, this isn't going to go well for you, dude. Like, it's really a beautiful declaration. And God liked it as well, apparently. Because even though he's sharing in the sins of his father, who did humble himself at the end, right before he was totally destroyed, Abijah leaned into the Lord. Man, those bass are just jumping over there. I'm going to keep fishing, you guys. Stick with me. I'm going to kind of quiet up. I'm going to keep the camera rolling, though. Because, man, there's some big old bass jumping over there. I'm almost there. They're around here somewhere. All right, well, I think I'm gonna wrap this one up. It's been a beautiful day out here. Sure I haven't caught anything. Seen a bunch of bass jumping. Haven't been able to pull them out though. Thanks for joining us. Keep on joining us. We'll keep trying. We're just getting out and fishing and hunting and on all these, and most of the time we don't get anything. That's okay. That's why you got to keep on going, you know. Last deer season, I went deer hunting about 15 times before I finally got one. That's just how it goes sometimes. But thanks for joining us. This genealogy has taken a while, but man, it's fascinating, and it's incredibly important to to understanding who Jesus Christ is and the promises that God made all the way back to Abraham, and here they are being revealed from generation to generation. It's cool. So, all right, we'll keep on joining us. We'll try to get out. I'm going to do some night fishing tonight, I think. And we'll just keep rolling through this. So keep on joining us, man. This is fun. Hopefully we'll catch something one of these days.